In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern, taking a look at an interesting temperature pattern. At least it is going to be a little bit of back and forth. We have a couple of warm days left, especially along the immediate East Coast, but things are about to cool down in a big way, at least for a considerable amount of days. I would say we're looking at least 3, 4, 5 days of cooler weather. We are going to rebound out of that a little bit into some above normal temperatures again, but the models do have us going back into a colder pattern again. So a little bit of a back and forth. The overall longer, bigger picture look does look a bit warmer, but again, there is going to be those cool downs for a few days at a time, and that is going to bring back and forth weather. The severe weather has calmed down a little bit now. Looking forward, we do have a couple of more days to go with our current thunderstorm and severe weather event, but after that, it doesn't look quite as bad as what we've been dealing with throughout a lot of March and April for at least a little while. So we're going to be diving into all of this. Some snowfall chances persist as well, as we've talked about earlier. So let's just dive into it. Looking at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook here from April 11th through April 15th, we do see below normal temperatures looking likely along that northwest coast. And that's going to be the beginning of a negative PNA. So already by the 11th, we are transitioning out of the very cool pattern into something that does look a little bit warmer. And that is the beginning of that happening. We do see the warmest temperatures will be over the Rockies and the plains here. So more of the center of the nation dealing with a lot of warmth there. And then a little bit more cool there along that southeast corridor once again. So cold on both coasts slightly, and then above normal for the middle of the nation for that 6 to 10 day period. Looking at the precipitation here, we do see that most of the activity will be in the northern regions here. We do see the northwest here, the north central states, the northeast, as well as the mid-Atlantic in that above normal category, again, for the 11th through the 15th. But we are looking very far below normal as far as precipitation for the southwest, south central, and southeast. So just straight across the south, basically there, dealing with overall drier conditions. Now, as we just look at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook here, which will be from the 13th through the 19th, we do see the same thing out west, basically, just some cool temperatures, some above. It's going to be very neutral as far as that PNA is concerned. We do see this warmth is still around for the central states, but it is spreading a lot more into the eastern states by this 13th through 19th time frame. So again, we're kind of gradually warming up. It's nothing crazy looking at the full picture as far as above normal temperatures, but it is near normal to slightly above normal, which is going to be beautiful this time of year, to say the least. So we do move back into a really nice pattern overall. Looking at the precipitation, it's a lot of the same. Again, the northern states dealing with some above normal precipitation. The only kind of difference here is the south is dry, except for Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico here, where there is a little bit of above normal precipitation popping up. So we kind of break up that below normal precipitation a little bit here. But overall, this is kind of similar to that previous precipitation outlook overall. Looking at the European model, we're just going to be diving through this. And like I mentioned earlier, we still do have a little bit of that severe weather event to go. I'm going to take us all the way towards the afternoon today on Sunday. And what we're seeing is for the deep south up into the mid-Atlantic, some thunderstorms and severe weather persisting, mostly severe weather there for Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, as well, parts of Tennessee. There is this chance of severe weather. This is going to extend into parts of South Carolina, North Carolina, and Central Virginia overall today. We'll look at the Storm Prediction Center outlooks towards the end of this video, of course, but I just want to make you guys aware early on of what's going on here. As we move towards Monday afternoon, we see that a lot of this is going to shift eastward, so we're going to see more of like the coastal southeast involved in the severe weather chances. Think Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and perhaps a little bit of Virginia, but it is cut off right around the Virginia-North Carolina border. And this is right around when our cool down is moving in. So this is all associated with the cold front. It's dragging the cold air in, and we can expect overall cooler conditions after Monday. Meanwhile, at the same exact time, we do see that the positive PNA, which is enforcing that cold to move in, is kind of breaking up. We do see precipitation, even snowfall, and cooler temperatures there for the northwest And over the long term, this is going to bring the warmth back, as we mentioned earlier. So we already see the beginning of the end by the time it's the beginning of the cool down in the east. Pretty interesting stuff. Looking towards Tuesday here on the 8th of April, this might be one of your cooler days of this cool down. We see a full-blown trough in the east. We do see snowfall for New York into New England. Definitely an impactful cold pattern overall. Looking towards Wednesday, again, the lack of precipitation is evident throughout this model run. We have showers around for some areas like the Northwest, Midwest, and Ohio Valley, both in the form of snow and rainfall, depending on your location. But showers is it for the lower 48. So very, very quiet, especially for this time of year. By the time we move towards Thursday the 10th, a lot of this showery activity is still around for the Midwest, some of the Ohio Valley, and now extending into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast here, where again, in the higher elevations, we are seeing potential for snowfall. Lower elevations is going to be mostly rainfall, of course. Looking towards Friday, this is when things get super interesting. We have a developing nor'easter here, so heavier precipitation overall for the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic. So that is going to be a heavier rainmaker, definitely not just showers. This is going to be quite a bit more than that. This could be our next considerable rain event for the east. And what we're going to see as we move forward towards Saturday, the 11th, is that nor'easter moves northward. We see a lot of this precipitation now over the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Even some high elevation snowfall there in West Virginia, Maryland, maybe Pennsylvania. The trough is a little bit inland, as you can see, this colder pocket of air, so that's why we're seeing rainfall in New England, even in the mountains, and then down in West Virginia some snowfall. It's just because of that temperature pattern overall. As we continue on towards Sunday, that system moves out. We do have a low near the southern regions of the Hudson Bay, and this is leading towards some rainfall for the Great Lakes, maybe into the Midwest as well, mostly just showery activity. As we reach towards Monday, again, very, very quiet. There are showers in the Northeast, but that's about it. Overall, looking warmer for most of the nation. Tuesday, the 15th, we do see another cold front rolling through. We have a 990 millibar low pressure center just to the north of Maine, and it does have like a stretching cold front behind it. This could bring about some thunderstorm chances, if not just showers around for this area. But also it is trying to pull the cold air down once again into these eastern states. Activity, again, returning to the Northwest as well, where we have snowfall and rainfall depending on your elevation. Just a overall stormy pattern up there, which really they're used to, so nothing too crazy. By Wednesday, we could see that cool down in the east is going to be relatively short-lived, perhaps. We have some low pressure developing over Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. This might be our next severe weather threat, at least the next major one. Again, Wednesday the 16th. So we do get a considerable break from any of the major severe weather events, which I know we could all use right now. So it is very, very good news. I want to move us towards Thursday here, where this thing looks really dynamic. We have a 998 over northern Missouri. A extending cold front down there, and there is a warm front, but it is low precipitation. So you don't see the precipitation there, but we can tell from the heights that this is dragging warm air northward up the eastern states. So the effect that you get here is the cold air diving down behind all of this. The warm air is really rushing to the north out ahead of it. So we get this kind of swirl in the storm. And that cold air moving and hitting the warm air diagonally like that is exactly what you see in these major severe weather events. And we've been watching all year. And overall, if the system panned out this way, which keep in mind it is a couple of days beyond 10 days out, probably 11 or 12 days out here. So a lot could change, but we do see the model popping up with storms like this somewhere around the 15th or just after. So that is kind of the time frame that I am watching for any sort of significant system such as this one. Let's see what happens as we move towards Friday afternoon. We see that low is weakening. Overall, bringing in some cooler temperatures. We see some showers, even snowfall showers nearby the low. We continue to see this cold front extending out ahead of things, so thunderstorm chances persist into the deep south, up the Appalachian Mountain Range, and even into the Ohio Valley there. As we move towards Saturday the 19th, somewhere between Friday and Saturdays would be when it's hitting the East Coast. So we see thunderstorms there. And then this system even wants to become a little bit of a nor'easter itself. 990 there over the Mid-Atlantic. Heavy, heavy rainmaker here in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. So these types of systems also kind of repetitively popping up on the models here, which could be something interesting to pay attention to. The GFS model here, I want to see where we get agreement and disagreement. We see our system move through, some snowfall for the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. We get cooler, although we get this Clipper system moving through almost immediately. 90 hours from now, there's some disagreement between these models. We see this low moving across the Midwest, bringing some snowfall to the Midwest and Great Lakes there, and then it moves up through the Northeast. We then get another nor'easter right around Friday, Saturday there, which we did see on the European model, so that moves up and out. Monday here on the 14th, we do have that low over Canada. This one's further south than the European model showed it. Some showers out ahead of things, maybe some thunderstorm chances here in the Midwest. It's kind of going to be something that we need to wait and see. We see that cold front move across right around the 14th, 15th towards the east. So again, pretty significant system there with some chance for thunderstorms and severe weather. A little less dynamic than the European model showed, but it is around that same time frame. That one moves through. And then we actually get a more considerable system here right around the 20th on this model, which you seriously want to take with a grain of salt. That is very, very far out, but this is between Illinois and Indiana, dragging cold front. Certainly some good dynamics for severe weather here for parts of the plains and Midwest, which would just be really, really bad news. But that gives us an idea. Sometime between the 15th and 20th is probably when we're going to want to watch for another spike in the severe weather to potentially occur, according to both models, and that does move eastward. And we actually, towards the 22nd, end up with another warm up in the west, cool down in the east, which again, you still want to take with a grain of salt, but it is interesting to note that these models do have us going back and forth, both of them for that matter. Now, the total precipitation here, we do see maybe even increasing amounts there for the Northwest, definitely increasing for the Midwest and Plains, and then the East still looks above normal. Much like how it's looked over the last few model runs and days that we've been uploading. So no big surprises, I would say, on the precipitation. Looking at the anomalies here, we see below normal for most of the West with the exclusion there of the Northwest. And then also for the Rockies, most of the plains, unless you're in the central plains here like Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa area, there is a little bit of above normal precipitation in there. We even see some areas of the Great Lakes and Midwest dealing with some drier conditions, but it's the immediate eastern states into the deep south and even Gulf states where we're watching for the best chance for above normal precipitation through the next 360 hours, so through the 21st. So this is what the model is showing. Definitely different than what we've been dealing with. We've seen the plains and Midwest get a lot of precipitation with these repetitive thunderstorm events, but things do look to be slowing down perhaps after this event that we're currently in is said and done. Looking at the Storm Prediction Center outlooks, here's the day one outlook. Again, there is some severe weather throughout the deep south into the southeast here. The lighter green is your general thunderstorm risk, where we expect general thunderstorms to be possible. No severe weather is necessarily expected, but you're going to want to be prepared for anything because these forecasts are very tricky, so heed every watch, warning, and advisory. The darker green there through the Carolinas, again into central Virginia, and then down through the deep south is going to be your level 1 marginal risk, where we expect isolated severe weather to occur. And then your yellow area there for the deeper south areas is going to be the level 2 slight risk, where we see scattered about severe weather typically in those areas. That's for today, of course. As we move towards tomorrow on Monday, we do see parts of the southeast still included, and even a general thunderstorm risk there in the northwest. So again, lighter greens, dark greens, yellows, you can refer to what I just said a minute ago, but we do have a slight risk still for the southeast. And then for day 3, we're finally slowing down. General thunderstorm risk there nearby the Rockies, and then general thunderstorm risk with a marginal risk for South Florida. But that is it. Finally, we're not seeing any widespread severe weather events after we've just dealt with days and days in a row of that. And there is no extended outlooks as of now. So this is it on the Storm Prediction Center outlook. So I think we're certainly slowing down at least for maybe 5 days to a week. Hopefully even longer than that would be really nice with how much activity we've seen, but time will tell, and we will keep you guys up to date, of course. We do upload every single day, so be sure to subscribe. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.